If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers. The 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and 1 special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down to the Mud Flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive this freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction to rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted, and somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. Before we cover some news, here is a mission statement for a not-for-profit I helped start in town. It's called Our Northbridge. The mission statement is, number one, feed the children. Not just food, knowledge. Make our town the pride of the Blackstone Valley in primary and secondary education. Clean up the streets. Not just litter, the economic challenges in the commons of Whitensville and in Rockdale. And establish a park and recreation department to protect and improve our public spaces. 3, fire the bad actors. Find out who is responsible for the challenges we face and replace them. Then establish term limits for elected officials so it never happens again. If you would like to help with this, please call me or text me at 401-486-6894. My name's Mike Dutra. This is our Blackstone Valley. We'll be right back.
We love money. People with it love to flaunt it, and those without it wish they had it. Money can make possible our deepest fantasies, big yachts and lavish parties for some, or, for others, a sizable video game collection and the time to play it all. But despite our desire to acquire more money, many are left to ponder the eternal question, does more money equal more problems? But first, let us imagine a world without money. A world where we're simply stuck with all the useless power-ups we've acquired through our journeys. You could, in theory, try to trade someone 500 turnips for a nice frog suit, but it'd be a hard bargain. Without money, we're stuck bartering for goods that only both parties directly want. Until the widespread adoption of money, this was the reality for many peasants and farmers. If you grow nothing but turnips, you better hope the person you want to trade with needs them. In a money economy, life becomes much simpler. Money lets us turn what we own and produce into anything we want. Excess mushrooms can become cold hard cash, and that cash can become a fire flower, a super leaf, or even a warp whistle. Money allows people to explore their inner desires by enabling them to exchange their goods and services for much more than they could achieve by bartering alone. This money economy, according to German philosopher Georg Simmel, was deeply liberating. But money has a dark side as well. Money, according to Simmel, doesn't simply stop at economic liberation. When money becomes symbolic of all value, it allows anything to be exchanged for anything else, until everything has a price. Everything can be bought. Experiences, friends, armies, governments, even romance. Money erodes the social relations that used to dictate behavior, like community, religion, or family, and puts in its place the laws of exchange. We're instead left with a world that encourages us to put opportunity ahead of family, if the price is right. Take, for instance, Yoshi. Yoshi is not only how Mario gets around, he's a trusted companion and friend to Mario. Yoshi may not be the most efficient way to get around, or even the best dinosaur companion, but Yoshi is part of Mario's life either way. In a money economy, the Yoshi can be reduced to a mere economic value. He is interchangeable and disposable. Is Yoshi too slow? Get a car. Not fierce enough? Get a T-Rex. What does it say of our own humanity when our self-worth can be compared with and exchanged for a Tanuki suit or a nice Currybow's shoe? Are we just replaceable cogs in a money-driven machine? Money doesn't just dehumanize us, it also affects our inner psyche. It has turned us into cynics. In a world where everything is a simple number, everything starts to look the same. Every experience and sensation can be bought and sold. A once coveted raccoon suit is just a few coins and a click away from being yours. The difference between a turnip and a castle is now entirely quantifiable. We become unimpressed and uninterested in the world around us. So we latch on to novelty. We like new music until it becomes too mainstream. We complain about the tireless reboots of Hollywood films. Morality, politics, and culture seem to be an endless repetition of the same. For others, money doesn't make us cynical, it makes us indifferent to the quality of things. We want more, not better. We want supersized food, cars, and houses. We become Mario, endlessly collecting coins that don't do much of anything anyway. Money, it seems, both liberates and entraps us. The question, dear viewer, is it possible to maintain our humanity in a money-driven world? Or does money own you?
I'm Mike Dutra, and this is our Blackstone Valley. First thing we're going to be covering tonight is the normalization of racism and online harassment. Something I wanted to cover quickly, it's a very old saying. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. Let me say it again. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. Socrates said that some time ago. Getting to more current events, Roseanne Barr having her show taken off the air and many people losing their jobs ultimately because someone said some terrifically racist things on Twitter, the same place where other people, like our current president, are doing what some might think are ridiculous things in social media. She was fired because of what she said on Twitter. And there's a little bit of blowback. A small percentage of a very vocal minority are saying it's a violation of her First Amendment rights. These same people who are mad about Roseanne's free speech being violated because she got fired for being blatantly racist were just celebrating the NFL forbidding players from silently and peacefully protesting during the national anthem. Again, Roseanne, what she said was inexcusable. Her coming forward and saying it's because of the Ambien she was taking, and then the Ambien drug maker, someone coming forward and saying Ambien can make you racist, as in to blame anything but yourself for the awful things you say. One thing I can tell you is there are things in my life I wish I could take back saying. I can't imagine what must be going through Roseanne's mind personally, but it's inexcusable. It's racism. It's time to be honest about the things we say, whether it's into a microphone, on social media, or anywhere in the world, in a parking lot amongst people that you consider close confidants. Anything racist is racist, and nothing less. Roseanne blew it, just like President Trump. This was not a joke. This was not in bad taste. This was racism. She wasn't misunderstood or misquoted, and now she is paying the price. Moreover, this isn't silencing a conservative or a First Amendment issue. She is free to say what she said, and we in turn are free to call her out for saying it. And her employer is free to fire her for saying it, which they did, and kudos to you, Disney, ABC, everyone involved, for taking a moment and reflecting to understand where you are in history. This is the same woman who made Jew cookies in Hitler garb and took a picture and posted it online. And this is the same person that, if you're old enough to remember, sang our national anthem like no one else could in such horrific disrespect of where she was in that time. Thank goodness for Valerie Jarrett being exactly the person to come forward to respond and take the high road after the terrible things I will not say on air that Roseanne said to get herself fired. Valerie took a moment to thank her family and friends for coming forward and supporting her during that time. Which brings me to something personal I want to share with all of you right now. It was quite an ordeal to get the first show on the air, and I experienced quite a bit of online harassment from a number of different sources, some internet trolls, things like that. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much to my family and friends and the people that I love for all that you did during that time. You know, everything happens for a reason, especially the stuff we don't like. And I, for one, I'm just grateful for all the people that love me and stepped forward and told me that they were here for me during, you know, the terrible, awful things that were said about me, about people I love, about my family. I just want to say again, thank you to all of you who stepped forward to say, you know, what, this is terrible. What is everyone doing? Thank you. But getting back to how this relates to President Trump, any real conservative should call President Trump out for how he's using racism and patriotism to hold power. The generals involved in his staff, the high-ranking officials from the amazing organizations like the FBI and the CIA need to take a moment and say publicly how they feel. It's not anti-American, to be honest. President Trump is the same person who got into the spotlight by lying about former President Obama and where he was born, saying he was born in Africa. If there was ever a moment where we could go back and originate where the dog whistle racism that plagues our country exists and began from, I, for one, believe it might be that moment. President Trump ran on a ban of a religious group of people, that being Muslims. He called deadly white supremacist attacks in Charlottesville, as good people on both sides. Let me say that again. He called deadly white supremacist attacks in Charlottesville good people on both sides. We know what Roseanne Barr and President Trump think. They are exhibiting racist behavior. And it's time for us to talk about it. I, for one, think we can aim higher than just tolerance. Tolerance means like, okay, fine, be there. But don't talk to me. And definitely don't date my sister. There is not a religion in the world that says, I have asked you to tolerate thy neighbor. Let's try for something a little more than tolerance. Let's try for acceptance, and then respect, and then friendship, and then hopefully someday love. My name is Mike Dutra. This is our Blackstone Valley. We'll be right back.
Your sales guy, you know, you've been listening to me for a while now about sales tips, sales strategies. I've been in this sales space now for about 30 years. Made a commitment when I was 25 years old. I'm going to become the guy, the legend, the living legend of everything sales. And over the last, 25 or 30 years, I've read Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins, you name it, okay? All the greats from Zig, all the guys, Jackie, all the guys that have ever, the guys and gals that have ever dropped sales knowledge, read hundreds of sales books, watched thousands of hours of video on sales. And I came here today to share with you 5 tips on how to be a better salesperson. My staff actually put this together based on other information I've done, and they wanted me to share with you these 5 tips. More information, use video as much as possible, write up 100% of the customers, become a celebrity, and train every day. That's what they wanted me to give you. Here's my notes. But this is what I'm gonna give you. Okay, now that I have a little maturation, a little maturity, now that I know what I'm doing, as opposed to when I was 25, 30, 35, and 40 and thought I did. Look, if I had the sales game, if I was starting my career all over again, John, pass me that millionaire booklet, I would start everything over differently. You know, after 30 years of interviewing salespeople, being with masters and pros, I just spent some time with a guy that's done $25 billion worth of real estate sales. I've met some of the best mortgage brokers in the country, some of the best insurance agents in the world, some of the best financial planners on this planet. When I say best, I mean they make the most money. Okay, let's call a spade, okay? The best salespeople, number one, make the most money. You guys or gals out there that are bragging about your closing ratio, you're like, I'm the best closer in the world. Grant Cardone, I can close anybody. Look, if you're not making money, you are not the best. So I'm going to give you 5 tips today off the cuff. I hope this is just enough to get you relit up and restarted on your sales career. Whether you're new to sales, been around sales a while, or you're a master of your universe, I want to take you to the next level. First thing you got to get right if you want to be in the sales game today is you got to get your freaking financial literacy right. You got to get your money financial mindset right. You got to start thinking about taking your finances from the level you are to the level where you and your family deserve to be. Now, you know this is true. Okay, people that are not making enough money simply make sense of why they're not making enough money. Money's not going to make me happy. I'm fine where I am. I'm doing better than people that live in Afghanistan. Okay? Well, none of that makes sense if you have the potential to make more money. If you have a great product, a great company, and you know another call, another strategy, one more little maybe angle, something that you could persist with. If you know that you could be making more money and you aren't, let's get that fixed, okay? I wrote this little book called The Millionaire Booklet. This took me about 2 hours to write. This took me 30 years to put together, okay? This is the Playbook to Millions. We actually called it Playbook to Millions originally, and Google and Facebook wouldn't let me advertise it because they said, you can't promise to make people millionaires. I said, no, you can't. I can. I've made millionaires. And the first thing to becoming a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a hectamillionaire, or a billionaire, and I've spent time with enough billionaires now, is they have made decisions to get their money right, okay? Whether they're going public or selling a product, scaling out, they had to make a decision to get the money, the finance model of their household, their business, their product, or their IPO right? If they want to go to the market and become a public company. So number one, get your money right. It's not about product knowledge first. It's not about sales knowledge first. It's not about sales process first. It's not about the follow-up first or writing the customer up first. It's not even about attitude first. It's about get your financial mental, get your money mental right, okay? Because if you're satisfied, if you're happy where you are financially, why would you sell anything else? Look, let's face it, you're on commission. You get paid to sell things. You get paid to close deals. You get paid to follow up only when it works. Okay. Number one, get your money mindset right. When I put this book out, this is 420 pages. Personal finances, creating a millionaire, how to make millions in business. You have a business, even if you're just a salesperson. The wealth creation formula. Okay. The rest of this book is sales strategies. 320 pages of sales strategies, 100 pages on finances. Okay, actually it's 161 pages on finances, and the rest of the book, 260 pages, is on sales, top sales secrets, 10x super life sales secrets, follow up the greatest sales secret. By the way, follow up was where the money is. Number two, follow up. All the money is in the follow up. It's not in the meet and greet. It's not on the internet. It's in the follow-up. You got a lead, somebody's interested. How do I follow them up? Now, this is where the financial thing comes back into play because the follow-up is hard. Nobody wants to make that second call, much less the third one or the fourth one or the fifth one. Do you know that 25% of all salespeople make one phone call and quit? 48% never make two calls. Most never make the first one. It's crazy, okay? Most of your sales are made, closed, between the 5th and the 8th call. If you're advertising on the internet, there's a good chance you have to call people 8 to 11 times just to get them on the phone one time to qualify them the first time to see if they're even on the right product. So follow up. The fortunes are in the follow up. Number three, you got to mix up. You got to mix up your strategies. It can't just be one strategy. You're no longer just a phone person or an in-person person or an internet person. If you're heavily dependent upon the internet, do not abandon your other mixed choices. This is like mixed martial arts. We call it mixed martial selling. That's right, mixed martial selling. I am the mixed martial arts of sales because I use the phone, I use the internet, I use social, different than the internet. And number four, I use a personal visit. I will walk in, knock on your door. And number five, I use referrals. So what are your different mixed martial arts, if you will, your mixed arts of sales today? The internet's one, the phone's one, retail, traditional retail visits, 4, social media, and number 5, referrals, influencers, getting other people to endorse you, okay? Number four, 72% of all salespeople in sales organizations never write a deal up. This is one of the points that Jared wanted me to share with you today. One of the things I built my entire career over. One thing that probably has me responsible for more deals, more closes, more companies, more business than any other single thing I've done in my career. Write the deal up, okay? When I'm buying real estate, I've bought and sold $750 million worth of real estate. Every one of them, every property I bought was a sales game. It was all a sales game. First, I had to get my finances right. Second thing I had to do was make a call, follow the guy up. He's trying to sell a property. I got to find out, why would you sell it to me? How can I get in his circle of influence? Okay, how can I get their attention? How can I then follow them up to keep their attention? Every real estate deal I've ever bought required me to follow up just to buy the deal, which is a sales job. 3, I had to use my mixed pass to get the deal. 4, I had to write a deal up. I can talk till I'm blue in the face. There's a guy, I wanted to buy his property. He wouldn't respond to my phone call, so what I did was send him an LOI, a letter of intent to purchase his property. Number 4, if you don't get to the write-up, nothing matters. You guys in retail, you guys and gals in retail, if you're not writing the customer up, you're showing the product, presenting the product, walking around the product, and you never write them up, you will never close a deal. Every deal you have ever closed in your entire lifetime, guarantee you wrote it up. You didn't talk about it to close it. You had them on a contract, on a proposal. Somebody had to sign something to buy it. You wrote them up. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you is this, and I could go on and on. I could give you another 6 points to take you to the master levels, okay? Love to get you my playbook, by the way. This thing is the bomb. But the 5th thing I want to tell you is the reason you'd get this. Training. If you're not going to train, then put a sign on your desk, I quit learning a long time ago, and see how many people want to buy from you. Tell your family, go home and tell your wife and your kids, I quit learning, I quit reading, I quit studying, I quit training, I can't get any better. Put on there, done, I'm finished, I'm in retirement early, I'm going to purgatory, I'm going to wait it out, cross my fingers, and hope they bring me to sales heaven. Look, you're done if you don't train, okay? Now, I know you know this, you've heard it, I hate to tell you this. My boy Conor McGregor or McGregor? My boy Conor McGregor. Okay, I went and saw him fight in New York. I went and saw him fight for one reason, because I saw him say, I'm not the best. This isn't about talent. It's because I'm obsessed. I out-train everyone else. I have to win so bad, I train. Look, if you're not training, that says something about your obsession or lack of obsession with winning. I want you to win. I know your wife or your husband, your spouse, your family members, your kids, your mom and dad want you to win at the next level, no matter what they tell you. Even if they tell you you're doing great, pat you on the back, you know the truth. You know the truth. The only way to win is to train. The only way to win is to read. The only way to win is to learn more, listen more, learn something new. Look, we're in a time like we've never been before. Technologies come and go faster than people do. Things are changing like this, whether it's video you're using or social media or Snap or short videos or videos that disappear or videos that stay or text messaging that you can create to push and market and brand yourself, called text messaging, which I've been using a lot. Look, the world's changing. And if you're saying to yourself, I'm too old to learn that, well then guess what? You're too old to learn that. If you can't learn anything new, just put, I'm ripe and I'm about to fall off the tree and nobody's going to want me. Look, man, you got to train every single day like your life depends on it. Train every single day. I am here today. I own these 4 companies that I own, the studio, my reputation. Everything is because when I was 25 years old to when I was 30 years old, every single day, I trained watching video every day. I'd watch the video, I'd walk in, and then I would role play, and then we would do a sales meeting every single day. And immediately, when I was 25 years old, that is what changed my whole life. My commitment to training, my commitment and willingness to sit down every day, take in a piece of data, sit down and role play that with somebody else, okay? Look at my stats every day, and on the way home, on the drive home, every single day, I would listen to audio. On my way to work every day, I would listen to audio. When I woke up in the morning, I'd watch video. Every morning when I got to work, I role played. Every time I lost a deal, I role played what I would do differently next time to get that deal. That is a commitment. That commitment started with number 1. I wanted to get my money right. I got tired, sick and tired of going to the store having to put a bag up. I got sick and tired of hearing myself say that's too much money when I was at the store or the restaurant. I got sick and tired of that. The only reason it was too much money was because I wasn't selling enough. I wasn't making enough. And why was I only selling enough to complain? Is because I wasn't training, because I didn't know what to do. You can change that right now, okay? I have products online that cost nothing. I have products online that cost $500. I got products online that cost $50,000. I want to help you. To the degree that you're able to help yourself right now, to listen to this message is a great thing. Congratulations. It's what you do after this message. Do you even remember the 5 things I shared with you? If not, go back and watch the video and you'll see the importance of repetition. If you don't remember what I've shared in this video, the 5 specific tips, go back and watch this video and you will understand how much you miss when you hear something. I want to help you. My name's Grant Cardone. They call me the greatest salesman in the world. And if they don't call me that, I'll call me that, because I know more about selling in the 21st century, whether it's traditional, on the phone, cold calling, warm calling, to a referral, to somebody that doesn't know me, to an elevator pitch, to selling $1 products or $100 million products. I've done all that, everything in between. I know how to sell in this mixed martial arts universe, if you will, and I want to help you do the same. Check out my playbook to millions. Maybe we give them a little link or something, Robert. We can give them something, little teaser, so I can put you in a funnel. ClickFunnels, y'all know about those? This is a game changer, baby. It's a game changer, okay? But just because you go to the ClickFunnel or to social media or you love Facebook doesn't mean you don't continue to work all the other angles. And that's my last tip of the day. Work every angle. Back to number 3. Mixed. The mixed art of sales.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Mike Dutra, and this is our Blackstone Valley. Next up, I want to quickly talk to you about our Northbridge, a new not-for-profit we have in town. A specific part of it that they have is called Helping Hands. It's located at 101 Church Street in Whitensville, Massachusetts. Its purpose is helping those in need. It's ran by Randy Bragdon, and every Monday she's at the office from 10 until 3:30. She collects and distributes babies' items and clothing for people in need. Donations are very appreciated, and her door is open to anyone that needs it. If you are in need or you would like to make a donation other than on Mondays, please call or text her at 508-714-8830. Or you can email her at randyIbragdon@yahoo.com. We will also put that in the comments on the YouTube video. We're willing to pick up items as well. Also, please check us out on Facebook at Our New Northbridge Helping Hands.
So growing up in Liberia at the time, the United States had one of the largest embassy in Africa, I think, in the world. Seeing a uniform and watching movies, it was no doubt. It was something I knew I wanted to do. As far as I can remember, probably the age of 8 years old, I knew I wanted to join the Marine Corps. And my dad, everybody knew about it. My first MOS was 0311, Infantry Rifleman. I selected that MOS because my brother selected that MOS 1 week ahead of me. So I was on a mule deployment and I met an officer by the name of Captain Lee. He told me that you have what it takes to become an officer. So it was then that I decided I was going to set a goal, and in order to achieve that goal, I had to stick with it. A little bit over my 12-year mark, I got commissioned. I would say to any young Marine coming up in the Corps, there's so much the institution has to offer. If a young kid from Liberia came to the United States as a refugee, went through school, received a degree, and had the privilege to lead his sons and daughter as an officer, I think you can achieve anything. The United States is a great nation. As long as you have a drive, you can achieve anything you want.